Wow, on time. Look at that.
Hi, how are you?
My booming voice just scared the living bejeebers out of you.
Just a
How are
little
you?
bit. I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you. It has been a very, very long time.
Very long time. Yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Bang on time too. Very efficient of you. I wouldn't expect anything less from a comedian, a management consultant, a real estate agent. Is there anything else that you do there?
I'm actually soon to be a docent for the Manoa Heritage Center. So I'll be giving tours about the history and the invasive plants.
Right. Very good. Yeah, wow. No, very diverse. Love it. Let's get stuck in. Yeah, welcome to the Luke Farr Show, a show to motivate, educate, and inspire our next generation of leaders. But first and foremost, mahalo for coming on the show, Simmone.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Very happy to have you here. I guess first things first, yeah, let's just touch on, I mean, you're very diverse from management consulting to international realtor to stand-up comedian. You spent most of your life in Toronto and born in Toronto out there in the beautiful Scarborough, but from Korean heritage with a touch of Japanese in there, correct me if I'm wrong, and now living in Honolulu, Hawaii. But can we just talk about childhood first and foremost, which was tough for you based on doing a little bit of homework there, experiencing racism regularly. I mean, what did you learn the most about yourself whilst growing up?
Ooh, good question. It kind of felt like it was a therapy session. Like, let's talk about your childhood, shall we? Good. I guess when I was in it, I never realized that there was any trauma or weirdness because I didn't understand. I didn't know there could be any different. And I guess kind of as a adult or whatever it is that I am now looking in, I realize, and also because from my understanding, a lot of people who grew up in Hawaii didn't really have the same type of trauma, as far as I know. I'm sure they have their own, things that they're dealing with, but for the most part, the people that I speak to that grew up here had really lovely lives.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, you
So
mentioned
yeah, I'm
you mentioned in the 2019 video that you, for the first time in your life, that you just felt a sense of belonging. What where did that come from? I mean, what do you think the importance of that feeling of belonging is, and why as humanity that we not only crave it but we need it to sort of just to thrive, not just survive?
Yeah, and it's funny because, I think Canadians are very accepting, especially in Toronto, we have a town for every culture and nationality. But I still think because we're all immigrants, there is still that, where are you really from? And, you're not really Canadian. I know you were born here, but, your parents had to come from somewhere. And it was always that inquiry.
What do you think they care so much about that?
Why do I care so much about that?
No, why do you think they care so much about that? Why are they asking it? Why do they have to go deeper and be like, well, you're not really from here, Is it a territorial approach?
You know what? I don't know. And now that I think about it, it could be just a genuine curiosity. Maybe they're interested, even though the likelihood is that they don't know anything about where I'm actually from. So they'll be like, oh, cool, that part of Asia, great, moving along. Like, I don't know anything about that. Because I also do that.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, then move on. Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you taught English in Korea, so you are the reason why my people will be borderline retarded. No.
Yeah, kimchi, right? Yeah, kimchi. Right, you're from that area. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen my comedy, but I do kind of joke. I joke about those things all the time where, people try to school you on your own culture. And truth be told, I don't know why people are so inquisitive. I hope that it's a genuine interest or a curiosity, because I do that all the time to people, but it's because I have a general knowledge of a bunch of different languages. And so
Mm.
when I ask people, it's not at all like, because you need to go back to your country. It's because I'm like, I want to show you that I've been there and I know the food and I know something, or I'll sing you a song in your language. And most often, especially in America or Canada, they don't speak that language. So they're just like,
Mm.
okay, why don't you calm down?
Why
Um,
don't you calm
and it,
down? I like it
yeah,
how
why
you
don't you
said,
calm down?
truth be told. Yeah, that's a very Canadian. I've missed that line actually from Toronto, but you Canadians love the truth be told. It's like, well, thank you so much for not lying to me. I appreciate that. You're telling me the truth. Fantastic. And you just need to stipulate that you're telling me the truth. That's great. Because what, every time you don't say truth be told, are you just bullshitting? Great.
It's like the guy who's like, I have a really big dick. They don't have to
Great. I'm
say it
good.
if they
I mean,
know. If they
anything goes
know.
on this show, but you're really taking it to a whole nother area. This is fantastic.
Sorry.
So
See,
we've
the Canadian's still in me. I'm apologizing.
yeah, true. Yeah, I never forget they used to apologize even if they were walking past me, not at me or getting in my way. But it's almost like a sense of they just want a conversation. Sorry, like you didn't even do anything wrong, man. Be interesting. Hey, so we will touch on the comedy part soon, but I just want to track back a little bit too, because you did attain an honors in international business, cross-cultural communications and strategic management. Really big words there. I'm really struggling with that. From Carleton University. What out of that whole experience, I mean, Simmone, what were the sort of the biggest important things that you actually learned from doing that degree that you actually still implement to this day? Maybe you actually implemented in your stand-up comedy, I don't know, but is there anything for you to say that was actually worthwhile me doing that degree?
Yeah, I think it's just so cross-cultural communication and international business is essentially switching up the mannerisms or the way that you do things, whether that's negotiating, whether that is, some countries you have to actually sit down and have a meal and get to know each other, get to know their family before you ever dare to speak about business. Other places, maybe more like New York or something, it's just like, get straight to the point. I don't have time to waste. We're either doing business or we're not. So, it was learning certain mannerisms or customs or switching things up based on who you are attempting to do business with. And it's funny because when that translates into comedy, I do try to use language or my experience with different cultures and traveling to different countries. But it depends. So they always say, know your audience. And sometimes in some areas, especially, some parts of the United States, they might not have traveled outside of the United States. So when I make references that I think, Canadians, generally speaking, because everybody comes from everywhere, you live in a neighborhood, you go to a school where there's all these different nationalities and stuff. So you have like a general understanding of these idiosyncrasies or stereotypes, if you will. So
Well,
I
it's kind
play
of
on those.
kind of like localization, right? Like localization is very important, and also when it comes to international business, if that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, I guess it would be that. And so learning that and then actually getting a job where I got to live and travel and do business in, I think it was like I've lived in like 10 countries. So I got to experience that firsthand and, what worked in the country just prior to that. And I'm like, oh, I know how to do this. And you go to a different region of the world and it does not work at all. Or just the fact that I'm a woman and should not be doing business there. That was always extremely challenging for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, what are some of the strategic strategies that you approached when like getting to grips with how to most effectively localize a product or service? I mean, apart from just the fact of building rapport with the local community and maybe being bilingual and things like that, but is there any other key tips out there for the audience to localize effectively?
I think anyone who you're trying to do business with, they could tell when you genuinely love the place that you're in. So if you're genuine about loving the culture and everything, they can tell. I think they can read if it's bullshit or not. But also, it's just if they like you or not. You know, there's a lot of services, there's a lot of products, there's a lot of comedians, there's a lot of everything out there in the world right now. And the saying goes that even if a product or service is, you know, not the top level, but they like you as a person, they're probably going to give you a chance. So I think this idea of fostering really strong relationships with people, taking a genuine interest in them, and not just being for the purpose of business either, you know, because I think when it's fake and it's like, I'm just doing this because I want to sell something, I think that also is very easy to detect when it's inauthentic.
So real estate agents.
You know, it's funny because I got into real estate because I was sick and tired of the bullshit.
There's such a stereotype around them and car salesmen. I mean, it's there for a reason. They just want their comms check and see you later, and it's transactional and bye-bye. But yeah, I mean, you seem extremely authentic. So you would have added a very fresh light into the real estate industry, I would imagine, Simmone.
But I mean, how many agents are there, right? And in the GTA alone, I think there was, like, when I left, about 40,000. So
wow.
Yeah, I could do what I could do for my clients and the people that I worked with and the interactions that I had, but it's, you know, a blip to the general, you know, landscape out there. But I think at the end of the day, I'm only responsible for my own actions and my own behavior. So I just want to make sure that I can look back and be like, yeah, I'm proud of what I did. I stuck to my own integrity and morals. And I think that's all we can strive for, because, you know, who are we going to have to stand up to at the end of the day? And I think it's old me. I got to stand up to me.
You do,
Yeah.
you've only got yourself to answer to. Yes.
Unless, unfortunately, dementia and Alzheimer's takes its ugly toll.
Oh, true. Yeah. That'll be. Yeah. Let's. Yeah. I mean, that is that's a possibility, especially. You know, I hear there's a drastic stat out there that 95% of comedians will form some form of dementia by the time they're 45. Yeah.
What?
No, I just made that up. Just
I'm like, that's terrible.
Yeah, that's like a real bad Tony Hinchcliffe joke that just bombs and then he just moves forward, and that's what I'm going to do swiftly. You've said life is too short to not live, laugh, and love. What are your non-negotiables daily to ensure you are living, laughing, and loving?
Well, I think finding an environment that easily allows you to do that. You know, I found it very difficult for at least 6 months out of the year in Canada to be truly happy. Winter to me is absolutely miserable. And I think as I got older, it became more difficult. Like, my joints, I was in so much pain. It was like John Travolta in Face Off. Like, you could peel just big, sharp, like I was ashy and dry, and just, it was horrible. So first and foremost, I have finally implanted myself in a place where, even when, you know, we're going to have bad days, this is life. Things always change. Things are good, things are bad. It's just how we choose to approach things. But my surroundings right now, as I live here in beautiful Hawaii, I've had really rough days. In fact, 2021 was, wow, that was a tough year. And sometimes it was very, very difficult.
Did you slip into some serious mental health issues and depression, like a lot of people did?
I was probably feeling some depression for sure. And there would be multiple times where I would be driving home, and I live in a beautiful, gorgeous area, and I could be crying in tears, on the verge of tears, and just driving into this valley where I live, and it would just kind of clear up. It's like, don't forget how lucky you are to live here and how beautiful it is. And it's the symbol here is a rainbow. Like it rains all the time, and then there's just this gorgeous reminder how lucky you are to be alive, and that even when things get super rough, it's like there will always be people just who would be so happy to trade places with you. So I just try to remind myself, and I know that life can be hard, it's never perfect, but I choose to try to focus on the things that are within my control, always being grateful. I'm extremely grateful to be here in Hawaii. Like every day, I just can't believe that I'm here, and I'm so grateful,
Please
which is
tell me,
why.
please tell me you've taken up surfing. If you haven't, then I'm pretty much going to shut this chat show down immediately. Like, we grew up surfing. We followed the pipeline, the Billabong Pro there. It's the last comp on the circuit, and it's massive. Pipeline, I mean, I don't expect you to go start learning at Pipeline. However, it would be nice to know if you've just picked up either a short mini mel or a long mel and started to learn. It's a way of life there for Hawaiians.
It
And
is a way of life.
Shout out to John Florence. Not a friend of mine, but just shouting him out because he's a very good surfer.
So I
Kelly
have made
Slater lives there, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I have made it a point in 2022 to get into the ocean more, and I'm sure surfing will be a part of that. So I don't know if you know me, but I've got my tentacles all over the place. So I get like really interested, and then I'm like all about this thing. And I've realized
you've been doing
that
a lot of capoeira, allegedly.
yeah, and I actually hurt my back like right before my headline gig at the Blue Note, and I have not worked out in a month because
Really?
it's like really, and I just don't want to
I couldn't
make
tell.
it worse.
I can't tell. It's the Asian genes. You guys just, you always look thin in my eyes.
I don't know if a sore back would play a role in this general area here, but thank you. That's very kind of you.
Would it not be some form of
A back thing?
Yeah. Well, it's like a byproduct, no?
I don't know. I don't know.
I haven't gone too deep around that, but anyway. How
so
is
yes, I do want to get. Oh,
Do I want to get kicked off? Yeah, I need to be. I'm treading careful ground here. Run us through the comedic market though in Hawaii, like just on the sense of like just that cultural approach. Are you throwing out the same jokes that you would be doing in Houston, Texas, or Austin, or no? It's very sort of, you got to be quite careful, and it's treading a fine line. Yeah, run us through how the comedy scene is in Hawaii.
No, honestly, I'm so grateful for the comedy scene here because, leaving a place like Toronto where there's so much diversity, so much talent, and so many people, like the GTA has just under like 3 million people, 2.6, I don't even know. It's been so long, but that's already double or 2.5 times greater than all of Hawaii's population, right? So it's a much smaller market. I have this kind of dual-edged sword of this face. Like I look very local.
Local.
And so,
are you local?
Yeah. Well, no. So I look local, but I'm clearly not local. So it's kind of playing those two sides where, for example, after I started comedy and then I moved to Korea, like by blood, I'm extremely Korean, having like all Korean blood, and then a little bit of Japanese. I don't think it gets more Korean than that. But then being from Canada and just like, so I would always play the like, I am, but I'm not. Right. And it can be a hit or a miss.
Where's your dad from?
He was born in North Korea before the war.
So Pingjang.
I don't know exactly which city, but probably not that far north of where the DMZ lies now. But it was one Korea back then. Because so you know,
Shout out Yeonmi Park. What a story. What a journey coming across that boulder.
I have her book right here, actually.
She's phenomenal. Hey, I do want to touch on, because I did watch your YouTube clip, and I do want to talk about that. Really, it was very moving and quite heartfelt. When you guys were growing up in Scarborough, and your dad ran the restaurant, and it was your birthday, and the Ku Klux Klan were outside, and then obviously, to his credit, and luckily that he trained in Taekwondo, and he had a 5th degree black belt to absolutely annihilate them, because it would have been interesting to see if he didn't have that belt, what went on there. But then went on to actually train them and rehabilitate them and try and teach them that that's not okay. But how did you feel with all of that? That must have been quite a traumatic experience.
It was, and I don't think I fully understood. I was so young, but I could tell that they saw me in a different way. So it was like some attack on my personal identity, but not really having a clear comprehension of why, or, I didn't know exactly why. I just knew they didn't like me because I wasn't white. So now that I'm older, I really realize all the ways that I tried to avoid that, or that I would take, anytime anything happened after that, I would say, oh, it's because I'm Asian, or because there's racism. Like I would always have that kind of, instead of rose-colored glasses, it was just like a thin sheath of racism, where I'd be like, oh, that's because of that. That's because of that. And because of that, I put on this armor of, well, I'm going to prove everybody wrong. If it is in fact due to racism, I have to stand up for Asian people and prove that we're just as strong, just as, beautiful, desirable, like all the things. And it's just,
so you went wholeheartedly on the defensive approach.
Yes. And it's like the salmon swimming upstream right into the bear's mouth. It's like I made my life so much more difficult for myself, and for no reason.
We don't know that analogy here in New Zealand, because we don't have bears or too much salmon. Oh, we've got a little bit of salmon, but run us through what that means. I mean, Canadians always keep us on our toes. Allegedly they're really, really friendly, but trust me, when I lived in Toronto, they are not that friendly.
Maybe it's because you're a jerk. No, I'm kidding. We're pretty friendly. We're pretty friendly.
Who knows? But
let's see if I can come up with another analogy. Okay, so it'd be like a high school rugby team deciding to play against the All Blacks. Like, you're gonna get slaughtered. Just why are you making life difficult for yourself?
Oh, the salmon is the
I don't know.
Oh, so that is right. That's so the high school team is the salmon effectively, and the bear is the All Black. Gotcha.
Like this, yeah. The high school team's like, oh, we're the best. Of course we can take on the All Blacks, and the All Blacks are like, just like, why?
Did you just do a New Jersey accent? Where was that? Was that like the classic American Pie, like the dude that plays lacrosse? Like, yeah, I'm a real blokey stoic man. Is that
probably
where you're going with that? Right, swiftly, yeah, as Tony Hinchcliffe lovingly says, when it's all right, moving along.
Keep it going.
It's like he's sponsoring the show. I've referenced him twice now. Anyway, you've this is a big segue, but I do want to talk about it. But you've done some work with the Habitat for Humanity, working on rebuilds in the Caribbean and Latin America, which is super cool. I mean, Simmone, what lights your fire about all of that experience exactly?
At that time, so admittedly, I have not done builds in quite some time. Maybe it's something that I'll get back into, but I just always, again, playing rugby, I felt very scrappy and strong, and I wanted to find a way to give back. I had lived a very good life that I was extremely grateful for, and in a little bit of self-interest, I would do these Habitat Global Village builds, because then at least I got to experience a new country and also give back in a way that would make me feel like I was doing a good thing. So building homes in different area codes was the way that I accomplished that. And it was lovely to see wonderful people who would really benefit from having these homes. But it was extremely back-breaking work. Like, you are doing construction in the sun. I'm always picking tropical, sunny locations, pretty much like a 9 to 5, mixing cement and just laying bricks and just incredibly arduous work.
Just sweating it out. Do you reckon you sweat more there out in that climate as opposed to when you bomb in front of a big crowd and you're also sweating balls?
It's funny. So doing the headline, I always see
you're
comedians
like,
take
what
on.
do you mean, Luke? I don't bomb at all. Like, I'm a professional comedian.
Say. But I understand why people take the cloth with them, like a towel, because you do get extremely sweaty. By the time you're like rounding out an hour, you are very sweaty.
Yeah. What's it like?
Yeah.
What's the feeling like bombing? I've never done stand-up comedy. I mean, I've always looked at it and gone, I admire those people. But is that do you just sort of how do you cross-check discourse? Like, how do you get your audience back on side, or is it impossible?
Again, it always depends on the particular audience. And I think one thing that has worked for me is, unless it is another comedian or someone in the industry that has been in my position, like if it's just some random drunk person in the audience, like, you suck, you take the mic and get up on stage. If I know that they haven't done that, their opinion rarely will faze me or mean anything to me, because it's not easy to get on stage.
Get the hecklers, do you call out the hecklers like a lot of the big guys do? Like, they really just that they confront it head on. You're like, oh well, yeah, really good. And do you take that approach?
Sometimes it depends how much time I have, where I'm at, what the audience is like, and whether I think it's worth it. There have also been times where I don't even bother to try to intelligently deal with the heckler, where if I've watched that same heckler attack every single comedian before me, like there was one time here in Hawaii and I was just not having it. I was not. So it wasn't like, oh, let's roast him in a funny way where the audience can enjoy it. I just cut him down, and I was like,
What'd you say?
There was some profanity and there was some sternness in my approach, and there was just kind of like a hush in the room. It was like I was angry mommy, just dealing with the whole daycare where everybody just shut up.
Wow.
And like, I was not kidding with this guy. I was like, you don't get to come here and be that guy. Like, have a little bit of respect.
Real change of tone from a comedic room, and the whole purpose of everyone coming there to laugh and have a good time. It was like, no, I'm going to call this heckler out, and hopefully he leaves. Yeah.
But it was also the whole evening, right? So there was also a drunk person who was passed out and had been puking all over. It's a 7:00 show, right? So there's someone borderline, like,
jeez,
I don't even know if they're still alive. Yeah. So they're like passed out, they're puking everywhere.
On the 440 ml cans from midday by the sounds of it. Jeez Louise.
I don't know what was happening, but they should not have been let into the place. And it was just, so that was a train wreck over there. And then there was some real angry, like, local women who took one of my jokes not as a joke at all. And so I was like, okay, I might have to deal with like an altercation over there. And then when it was a white man, and I was like, I'm not, like, so I just shut him down.
Wow.
And I mean, it wasn't the most intelligent thing I could have done, but I just like, I could have done it in a better way, but I was just like, I am over with this whole thing.
Yeah. Who do you look up to as a comedian?
Let's see.
Don't be cliche and be like, Dave Chappelle and Louis C.K. and Bill Cosby, and, well, certainly not Bill, but you know what I mean.
Well, definitely Dave Chappelle, because I think he is someone who has really reached a stage where he can still say whatever he wants, and I have a lot of respect for that. I would say also definitely Ali Wong. I mean, she's an Asian woman. Like if we see it, we believe it, right? It's like the 4 minute mile. Nobody believed it was possible, and then one person did it, and everyone's running a 4 minute mile.
Yeah,
So Ali Wong
when
just
she did a Netflix series Pregnant, that was pretty admirable and very hilarious. Yeah, I do admire her. She's funny.
that's probably the only reason I would have a kid at this stage, you know.
Oh, that's good that she's encouraging and influencing you in that sense.
There you go. There you go. Who else? I do like Eliza
With a white
Schwarzenegger.
privileged man, with a white privileged man, or with someone else, or someone of your own culture.
Probably no, not a Korean, but I'm open to pretty much everything else.
Nice. Because you lived in Germany, right? And I mean, yeah, we were wanting to talk about that. You dated generally blonde hair, blue eyes, and that type of thing. And then there would be Germans walking down the street, splitting you guys up type thing on a racist front and giving you foul looks. Like, geez, that kind of made you feel too good about yourself. How did you stay grounded and get through that approach? Or was that just another, like you'd already experienced in Scarborough, so you're like, here we go again? So it's just like duck off a water's back, doesn't even phase you.
Yeah, I think again, going back to the Salmon or the high school team playing against the All Blacks, it's like just the fact that I might not be accepted because I was Asian, or that German people didn't think that an Asian person could speak German, or all of these things. Anyone essentially saying, I don't think you can do that. It was like, F you, watch me. So it was like, because why else would, if you have traumatic experience as a child with white supremacy, don't study in Germany. Like that's the opposite direction of where you want to be going, right? But it was like, no, I want to prove how strong I am. It was just silly in hindsight. And even, it was such a silly choice that my program director, especially international business, there was multiple languages that you could choose, and then you would travel and do university in a country where that is the primary language, and you would do university in that language. It was very, very difficult. And even the program director was like, oh yeah, German is a dying language. And I'm like, why did I waste 4 years? How are you telling me this? Why did I pay for tuition? Like, should have taken an Asian language or something more useful.
Yeah, it's good. Great experience though. You really got around a lot, like culturally, bounced around. And look at you now. You're in Honolulu. I mean, where next for you? Yeah, maybe New Zealand. You can come settle your nest here. But I mean, it seems like you've got it's such a broad scope and an array of experience globally, which would craft you into the character that you are today, I would imagine.
I definitely think so. And the only reason why I haven't gone to New Zealand is because you guys won't let anybody in. Let us in.
Really awkward combo. Yeah. The old segue there. Right. Well, in that chance, we can move straight into an ad break now. Yeah. But I do want to thank my lovely sponsors, Autophagy Skincare. Simmone, I know for a fact you use skincare. I mean, not just. I mean, you have just got a glowing skin, but that's naturally a lot of that the Asian skin is just, you guys are born genetically like that, which is fantastic. But I'm sure to keep up that fantasticness of your skin, you must use something. Anyway, I'm going to send you some Autophagy Skincare, which is made out of New Zealand. It's a self-activating, lightweight moisturizer made out of pomegranate, grapeseed extract, green tea. It's non-greasy, super light. So if you want something heavy, choose something else. Replenishes and hydrates the skin. And it's not defined by age, gender, or body shape, which I know you'd love, Simmone. It's also perfect post-shave for problematic teenage skin and ideal as a pre-makeup application. It's also committed to the environment, which is super cool, by helping to reduce the carbon footprint. And it is made out of sugarcane pulp, the packaging and everything. So super cool. So head to www.autophagyskincare.com for any more of that. Anyway, back to the guest, and I will address that question head on. And yes, our government is handling this very poorly, and we don't need to drill into it. It's a disgrace. I'm not proud to be a New Zealander. And back to Simmone Park. How's Hawaii weather today? Yeah. The most easiest segue question.
It's pretty awesome. As always.
Yeah, you don't have to answer that. That was just an attempt to get out of answering a very.
But I
very
was going to say as well, getting back to your sponsor, do you use it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Because you look pretty good for a white man. Like, you know,
thank you.
That should be the advertisement right there.
Are you flirting with me right now? Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Simmone.
I'm trying to sell some product. I'm trying to be authentic here.
Wouldn't expect anything less out of someone from Canada or a comedian. So thank you very much. But no, I'll definitely put all of this down to Order for G Skincare wholeheartedly.
I was hoping you would say there's Manuka honey in there.
It's not. I mean, that'd make it a little bit sticky, wouldn't it? No?
I guess. I don't know. I think New Zealand, I think Manuka.
It's the only product you know out of New Zealand, eh?
I guess the like the rugby jerseys for the All Blacks. That's all I know. All Blacks and Manuka honey, and that it's beautiful. That's all I need to know.
You only watch the All Blacks because they're tall, dark, handsome, and big men. You like that, right? Are you watching for the rugby? Are you really? Oh, you are.
No, I played rugby.
Oh, you love the technicality of the game. You're really watching that ball just flip between these gorgeous men. You're watching what the ball's doing and how they're using their hands. Is that what you're doing?
All right, you need to stop saying balls is what you need to stay. Okay, No, I think it's a beautiful game. I did used to play. I dipped a toe in Hawaii, and then I realized these women actually play rugby. I played in high school. I am now no. Even my doctor was like, if you're not going to bounce back.
You got into rugby for the men. Gotcha.
No, for the beauty of the sport. There's no padding,
Yeah.
It's a beautiful sport. It's
such a beautiful sport. I mean, it's as beautiful as potentially gardening out there, I mean, they're hitting each other at rapid light speeds and almost knocking each other out. But no, I understand. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful. How do you find rugby beautiful? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to disagree with that. It's not a beautiful sport. Like, they're throwing a ball around and trying to literally kill each other to get the ball back.
I would say that's more American football.
Soccer.
That's literally
football is a beautiful sport. They're caressing the ball and doing wonderful things, and they're not hitting each other though, but they're getting that ball in the back net, and that's hard to do. That's a beautiful sport, in my opinion.
I think this is very indicative of who Luke is and who Simmone is, because in football or soccer, footy, they don't even touch each other, and they're like, ow, my shin, ow, so much pain. And then these rugby people,
did you just flip into a Korean? Was that an accent out of Korea? They're not bad at soccer, actually. But no, I know what you mean. But they're only doing that for a free kick. Like, it's an advantage play. Like, they're doing things under the scrum in rugby that are also illegal, but just because it's not privy to the human eye, it's okay.
Yeah, but it's not faking hurting each other. It's like, it's very like.
No, but it's still I know what you mean, but it's still a tactic. It's a tactic. Like, they're doing that to get a free kick to try and get some more goals.
It's a soap opera. It's acting. Yeah. It's a soap opera.
Yeah, but they're doing it as an advantage to win the game. They're not doing it to be like, oh, I'm like really soft as a human. They're not soft as humans. So yeah, it is a soap opera, 100%. It's an act, but it's an act to then get them ahead in the game, effectively.
And I feel like rugby would be more like real life. They're just playing the game of life for real.
Well, you would say that because now we're in the debate now, and you would, but I would counteract that and say, well, they're doing it without you seeing it visually. Like the footballer falls over, everyone can see that. They're doing stuff under the scrum. They're doing dirty little tactics. The referee cannot see, but they're still doing, like, on the premise of comparison between Hollywood Maradonas and falling over to get a free kick, which we can all see, and it's like, oh my God, you're such a pathetic drama queen, versus the rugby dudes who do the same in theory, the same, but they just
I disagree.
You can't see it.
I agree. There's definitely things in the scrums that you can't see, because I did play as a forward for one season.
There's a lot of balls being distributed around those scrums.
And there is a lot of like nastiness that happens when the ref can't see. I will agree with you there, but it's always on the opposite end of what your argument is with the soccer players. They're not faking something. If anything, they're being more like going for the eyes, whatever that can't be seen, but it's always, oh, I guess maybe I like violence. I don't know. Oh. Actually,
what
why
you're
do they
saying
move?
is they're still faking it because they're not doing it in front of the referee because they know
But they're
that they're
actually
getting away
doing
with it.
something. Like, my only argument is that when they fake it, they're not even being touched. What they're faking is actually inflicting more pain, but they're not getting in trouble because nobody can see it. So nobody's faking that somebody accidentally did something in the scrum. Not at all. It's the other end from where you're explaining.
I hear you. I hear you. No. Good point there. Probably the best point you've raised all interview, actually. But I'm just being a cheeky
Shots fired.
No, but let's be both clear here and agree that they're both doing it for competitive advantage.
Well, isn't that what sports? That's well. Why else would they do it? It's not like in Japan where, you know what? Let's just have a tied outcome so nobody loses face. No, it's
well, exactly.
Sports.
So my point is, regardless of how you do it, the outcome is still the same.
Sure, I'm just arguing that rugby is more, just like, I don't even know what this word is, but like whatever this is, it's like that. And then soccer would be more like prima donnas.
So it's fair to say that you would rather take a rugby bloke back home than a football soccer player by the hearing of your like, I don't want to take that out of context. You can take that what way you will, but it's just and it sounds like you're not going to get a out of a soccer player in the bedroom.
I think they would be utilizing that skincare line just over there, making sure they look pretty.
Oh, that's good. It's funny you say that because
shots fired back.
Oh no, keep the shots firing. It's funny because we just had such a massive order from the All Blacks for autophagyskincare.com. Thank you guys.
Except the difference is they're only using it on their balls.
That's
the rugby
true.
Balls.
That's true. I haven't done any form of surveys on that, but I could imagine. Yeah. And based on aerodynamics, yeah, you'd want to keep that pretty clean cut down there to make sure you're moving quicker rather than not. So
yeah, like swimming.
Yeah, everything. There's literally, you've got no hair, right?
How did we even get like, wow, we just really veered in so many different directions.
Simmone, literally the epitome of a rabbit hole. That was, yeah, that was
it's
good.
This little thing that I'm wearing. That's why.
Yeah. I'm still figuring out the pivot right now, but that's fine. But nonetheless, no, that is literally all. What are we now? We're at 43 minutes, which is
talking about absolutely nothing.
43 minutes of madness. There's some great insights in there, and but I do want to thank you for coming on the Luke Farr Show to motivate, educate, and inspire our next generation of leaders. We've covered a broad variety of topics today. You'd give Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan a run for their money, I would imagine.
I think you should put that out there. Let's see.
He's getting a lot of heat right now, Joe, and I'm not a fan of it. But he's only getting heat from mainstream narrative, and it's tough at the top when you're at the top and you're killing it like that. And then when Neil Young starts coming at Spotify, well, you're going to get some media publicity. But at the end of the day, that guy, like, he is so authentic, and he's got an opinion, but he also owns and is so vulnerable and accountable. He's like, I'm not an expert sometimes, and he'll talk about it. And he started that podcast just because he was interested in people, and it's just grown to just this absolute phenomenal beast. And good on him. And look, it's a tall poppy syndrome effect that I'm not sure if you know about tall poppy syndrome here in New Zealand, which is, you know, you want to cut the poppy down. If anyone's doing really well, you want to bring them down. It's all about equality. Let's not get anyone. Let's not promote success. Let's not celebrate success. Is
the poppy
thing.
A flower?
It is, yeah. So it's called tall poppy syndrome because you want to cut the poppy back down if it grows too high, which is the analogy of a human just excelling and doing really, really well at something.
Is it like crabs in a bucket? when the crab almost gets out of the bucket, the other ones drag him back down. Okay, so we're realizing that the analogies are very different on the other side of the world.
I absolutely love that. I never heard that one in Toronto, but that's a good one. So is that a
Well, crabs in the bucket.
or is that more specific to Scarborough?
No, there was even a song. You don't know the song, the Chaos song?
Okay, sing me the song. Sing me the song.
Oh shoot!
Sing us the song of the Cadillac.
I was like, and then the crabs in the bucket.
Oh, I know. Oh, I do.
Yeah,
Chaos,
you do.
the rapper.
Chaos, yeah.
Oh my God,
That's
love
what he
Chaos.
was talking about.
Crabs in the bucket. Oh, right. Same analogy. There we go.
So in New Zealand, it would be like, cut down that poppy.
And okay, now this chat show's really getting somewhere. This is good content.
See, it's like a brain ninja. This will get you later, where you're like, what the heck were they talking about? Later.
Rugby dude.
I don't know.
I love it. Wouldn't you just love to meet an All Black? Yeah. Well, come to New Zealand. They're here by the crab bucket full. There's a lot of them.
As soon as you let me in, New Zealand, I Jacinda, if you need help.
Let's do a little if you were to do some, like, let's give 30 seconds to Jacinda, what would you say to her?
Honestly, I don't know too much, but just being incredibly selfish. Hey, girlfriend, hey. I think it's time to just open up the borders just a little bit, and let this girl in. I'm gonna get in there. That's all. Like, wow, I'm so selfish. No, but I really do want to see New Zealand. I think it's, just all the honey, all the honey.
I'm definitely sending that message to Jacinda. She'll be more than delighted.
She likes to operate at high level, just let's talk Manuka. Yeah,
she does. She'd be very pleased that you studied at Carleton and did management consulting, real estate, and then into stand-up comedy. And she would love your resume.
I don't know. I think there's some similarities between obviously the landscape and the Kanaka culture between Hawaii and their Polynesian vibes. So I don't know. I look there and I see the greenery and it's quite idyllic to me, and I would like to see it and experience it. And it's very sad to me as a traveler that these borders are just locking us in. Like
Jacinda, open the border. That's what we need to do. Seriously. Hey, I do want to touch on just quickly, GTA Toronto. You referenced it a few times, but what is it with you guys in poutine? Just a whole lot of carbs. It's not that great, to be fair. I mean, that's my opinion, but
maybe you just weren't eating the right poutine.
Well, here we go. Yeah, I love that. That's always your defense. Or maybe you're just a jerk. It's like, no.
Well, first question.
Take accountability for just a real shit thing. Like, it's just chips, cheese, gravy, onion, bacon. What the fuck? Seriously.
First of all, onion and bacon. Okay, no. Let's get down to the basics. Number one, was it a cheese curd? Are you making
a wonton right there with your hand?
I need to get to the crux of why you might not like the poutine. Number one, was it a cheese curd or just grated trash cheese? Because that will make an incredible difference.
I tried both.
So first of all, it's got to be a curd. No, it's got to be a curd. The quality of the chip, as you say, we say fries.
100% got to be. Or what oil is it cooked in? How long is the chip frying in there for? How often are you turning the chip? What is the thickness of the chip? Is it a thin? Is it a mid-range?
Then the viscosity of the gravy is
the what? Sorry,
the viscosity. Right. Like the viscosity of the gravy
must be a Canadian word.
The right. Yes. So with those three elements, and then also what brings it all together, how drunk were you when you were eating
sober
this poutine?
when I consumed poutine.
That's where you messed up.
Well, I've done it on both occasions. Certainly, absolutely hammered coming down King Street West, but also we did a bit of a poutine crawl too because we really wanted to assess. We did a survey. We ran the greatest survey in the GTA for non-Canadians. So obviously we're very biased, but
I
We
think you'd
went
have to go
right
to
from
Quebec.
we went from Mississauga right through to Port Credit, down King Street West, over to Queen Street West, down Ossington. We went to every single poutine location possible, and they were all shit.
Fair enough. I don't really think that I was really into it in the GTA. So I studied, Carleton is in Ottawa, which is very close to Quebec. And it's obviously a French Canadian thing.
Wow.
And then I think they had a pretty good one in Whistler on the other side. But it's like, and I'll leave you with this. It's like, poke is like the raw fish. And then, right here in Hawaii, it's just you have your rice, you have your fish, and maybe it's in a little bit of shoyu, or it has a little bit of like the spicy mayo. But that's pretty much
Little
it.
bit of what? Little bit of what? Sorry, shoyu. What's shoyu for the people that don't
It's
know
soy
what shoyu is?
sauce. Soy
Oh,
sauce.
soy sauce. The
Soy
fancy
sauce.
way of saying soy sauce. Okay.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, gotta look local. So now it's shoyu. But it's so basic. It's just the rice with the fish and little bit else, because it's really about how fresh the fish is. When you go to LA or you go to Toronto or you go to these places that maybe don't have the best fish, then they're throwing in corn and edamame and all this stuff. That's not poke. So I think what happened was, as I defend my land and our national cuisine of poutine, I think you just didn't try the real, authentic, amazing poutine, because it can be really good. And yes, it is a heart attack waiting to happen, but what a way to go.
Yeah, what a way to go. Yeah,
what a way to go.
on your memorial, on your grave there, went out on poutine. Yeah, 100%. I can agree with that. What is it about karage chicken that makes it so good? What's the little secret there that they're doing with the karage?
I think that's racist. I
Absolutely not. What do you mean?
I don't even know what that is.
I'm literally commending karage chicken, which fundamentally
is that like fried chicken?
Correct. Wow, come on. You were born in Toronto, weren't you? Karage comes out of Korea. It's the Korean style.
Sounds like a Japanese word. I'm gonna Google it right now.
I'm pretty
K-A-R-A. I'm pretty sure you are as white can be. Just give me 1 second.
I'm in the sun today. I'm due for my tanning.
In Japan. Right. So now you're just highlighting that my oppressors. Good job, Luke. Good job.
You do have what?
You are white.
You do have 0.8% Japanese in you. So, but anyway, that's by the by. I don't want to be thrown under the bus. I absolutely love karage chicken. I want to know why it's so good. Why it's so much better than our Kentucky Fried Chicken or anything.
It's made with the skin on boneless thighs, and that's a very fatty, flavorful part, much better than the chicken breast. This is as per Google.
Yeah, as per Google. Google can get out of here. What would they know as an $89 billion company? I mean, Jesus Christ, who would even use their search engine?
Or what would a non-Japanese woman know about this white man's favorite chicken, guys? You've tuned in to the show that inspires.
You've heard it here first. And I tell you what, I recommend using DuckDuckGo because it's more of an unbiased algorithm. So Google, you said initially that you weren't going to be evil, and that was your mantra and ethos. You've gone against it. You fuckers. Fuck you. Anyway, moving back into DuckDuckGo is the way to go. But back to the karage. So it's the type of chicken they're using, the way they're doing but certain spices. See, okay, I'm going to ask someone different. I'll ask a Japanese person.
Yeah, maybe ask a Japanese person.
Have you tried karage though? How good is it?
I don't think so. So when you asked me, I was like, "What the hell is this white guy on right now?"
Karage
I don't
style?
know.
They do karage style in Toronto, like in a lot of places. Wow, that's interesting. You must be very selective in your establishment.
I'm gonna white mansplain something back at you. Just this is just for you, okay?
So
you never ask a woman. Yeah, you never ask a woman how old she is. You never say, how far along are you? Ever, okay? But most importantly, if you're speaking to a Korean woman, you can't go wrong with asking something about kimchi, okay? Don't go for the Japanese chicken she's never, ever heard of.
Great to know. I wrote none of that down. but I'm going to.
Oh, it's in there.
that-
It'll brain ninja as you're
I am
sleeping.
going to take that with a grain of salt and hardly run with it. But thank you so much for your constructive and very, very well thought after insights, Simmone. I do appreciate that. Let's leave it here. Where can we expect to see you moving forward? Are you touring? Are you doing where can I see you on stage?
Well, I'm actually gonna be at the Blue Note tomorrow with comedian James Simmone. So this is gonna be a very local. Now I'm gonna try my chops at like being with all local comedians, right? So that should be fun. And then I will be taking my show to the outer islands. So I'll be on Maui,
Cool.
March 18th at the playground. Playground. Sorry, not the playground. I'm so formal.
Duh
Playground. Yeah,
Is that,
yeah,
is
yeah,
that,
yeah.
Is that run by what, Ludacris and 2 Chainz? Duh Playground.
And Debrat, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's exciting because
Keeping it hood, baby, all day long, all day, every day. Here's the white man that's about to start to rap. Be careful.
Yeah, maybe don't do that anymore.
Anymore. I've even started my.
Maybe just rein that in. Yeah, I'm just gonna backpedal for you.
Are you using a fishing rod because you're in Hawaii and you guys catch a lot of fish? What's that reference?
Yes.
That's good.
I'm like reeling it in, but backwards. So just
all right.
Just stop.
We got that. That's good. That's in all sincerity, Simmone, it's been fantastic having you on the show. Very insightful, very funny. I've had a laugh. Hopefully you've had a laugh too. Great to talk about the All Blacks. They are good-looking men, and that's the only reason you like watching rugby. And
it's the haka. It's the haka.
Actually, we don't.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. No.
Thank you for coming on the Luke Farr Show. I don't need to do the tagline. I've already done it, but thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. I hope we inspired with our talk of balls.
We did. Absolutely.
Fostering the future.
I'll just